All right, let's do some cooking. You can body double me. Hopefully there's nothing in the immediate vicinity that like has like doxing information on it. I don't think there is. I think we're good. Yeah, I think we're good. So what are we making? A really simple barbacoa. I think it's not great to turn this on when there's nothing in it yet, but since I'm the adult here doing it, I think I'm going to make an executive decision that I'm just going to do that. I'm going to turn it on low. Close your ears if this is going to bother you. Sorry about that. That's really loud. I'm going to have to put a warning on screen for that. Nope, we have a fungus gnat in this cup, so that's going in the sink. I've got to get after I get this cooking started, because this takes 8 hours, so I got to expend the energy to do this first. First things first, I don't like to touch meat. So I'm going to get gloves on. Although I should probably do the meat last so that I don't have to waste the gloves. That's a good point. Okay, so I'm just going to let this warm up. We'll do meat last because we don't want to have to... Because I don't know if I want to touch the onion with the raw meat on my hands, on my gloved hands. Even though I do understand that, like, you know, it's all going to be cooked. So it probably wouldn't matter. It just, the thought of, like, there being meat juice on my hands while I'm handling the onion and chopping, I don't know if that would be okay for me. I don't know if that's something... I don't need any distractions, let's put it that way. I don't need anything to get in my way when I'm already handling a knife and got ADHD as my constant companion. So this is honestly more onion than I even really want, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. I'm going to try my best to still cut this and pay attention to what I'm doing. Hear me wasting paper towels just as much as ever, or more than ever. Oftentimes I'll go look for a paper bag and put it next to me, especially since I often do this kind of food prep on the same day that I get the grocery delivery. But I don't feel like stopping what I'm doing right now to go get the paper bag. You can kind of see how I get a little preoccupied with like how the skin looks, or wanting to peel it kind of perfectly, and that's not really, you know, the onion doesn't... Yes, it grows in layers, but the skin isn't consistent all around. Like, if you wanted to never waste any bit and always use the best bits, you do have to be a little bit... Like, it's okay that part of this is pulled off and part of it... See, this part is, like, too papery, and it's going to leave, like, an unpleasant little papery onion in the mix. All right. Oh, yikes. It's slippery. Okay. This is how I do this. Let me see if I can still do it with the camera in my right in front of my view. I think the key for doing this safely is probably to look through the camera viewfinder. And that is my English muffin that I want to eat in a moment. But I think I'm going to chop the onions first because, I don't know, I just am. And then I also have to chop garlic. I'll have to stop at some point for my English muffins. Let's just do 1, 2, 3. Yeah, whatever. I'm sure this knife really needs to be sharpened and then honed. I never learned about honing properly, and I don't really know how to sharpen properly. I just do the best angle I can, and I don't even know if the way my dad taught me is like actually ideal, because he doesn't do it with like multiple whetstones. He does it with the one for sharpening like utility knives that he uses. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, the things my thoughts go to, I don't think it's like, as long as I can still do a sawing action slowly and get some results, then I still feel safe. It's really like, it's these moments where, because the edge of the blade is not sharp, it doesn't like it wants to slip sometimes, and I don't want it to go and then cut me. So like I can't be putting much force in. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, this is probably enough onion for 2 weeks of barbacoa if I was careful and like left it intact. But this is plenty. I've got to chop this up more finely and consistently. I feel my whole life I've been telling myself that I'm not good enough at chopping onions. And that scene in Julia and Julia, I almost called it Julia versus Julia, that would be funny. The scene in Julia and Julia where Meryl Streep playing Julia Child is learning how to mince an onion or dice an onion, I don't know which it was, at her culinary school, and they just show it in this very aspirational way, like she just chopped so many onions at home until she was eventually an expert in it. And it's like, yeah, that makes sense. It also makes sense that like not that many people in terms of home cooks would have ever gained like great skills in the kitchen. I feel like it's really more like family by family, if you happen to get that passed down to you, and you know, and if your interests are in that area too. It's not like everyone's interested in cooking. Yeah, so like I feel like back in the day a lot of people wouldn't have bought that many onions and just chopped through them and been like, okay, I just chopped enough onions, then I don't know what it could ever be used for, this many all at once. So you just throw them away, I guess. Maybe it goes into the compost. I don't know. I don't know what people were doing in France back then. If they were incinerating some things and composting other things. Whoops. Sorry. Oh, Dumpling, don't try to eat these onions on the floor. She's standing behind me like that. Hi, baby cakes. You're so cute. I gotta go make my English muffin. I gotta eat that. I'm like, how small do they have to be to actually cook all the way down and not have, like, any soggy onion texture? Because anything that resembles, like, honestly, like a thick phlegm, which I feel like certain really softened onions could contribute to that at times, because the beef already has, the beef fat will sometimes, I don't know, coagulate like that. I don't know what the right word is. It will sort of congeal. Alright, now I'm going to take these off so I can reuse them in a minute. I'm going to have my English muffin. I'm just going to pause the video while I do that so you don't have to hear me crunching. Okay, well, I decided to butter it and let the butter kind of like do its thing on both of the, to get on both sides of the bread well. I'm playing classical music in the background right now, but I realized what I really want to listen to when I'm done with this video is I want to continue my TJ Klune book plus audiobook setup, because I use Kindle Whisper Sync for that, because it greatly helps me focus and get through books faster. Helps keep my attention on the book to hear the narration at the same time as the words are being highlighted, like that's syncing up. It's like when I watch Buffy, like I need to have the subtitles on, the closed captions, in order to enjoy the show. Anyway, I'm still reading and listening to the Consumption of Magic book with Sam of Wild and Ryan Foxhart, and I just started to really appreciate how the sexual relationship between Sam and Ryan, their dynamic rather, is kind of mirroring what their roles are to each other, where Ryan is supposed to be Sam's cornerstone, and he's supposed to help Sam control his magic, and, or, you know, be more controlled when he does magic, like, to kind of know precisely what he's going to do with exactly the right amount of power, no surprises, no accidentally getting hurt or reaching new levels of, you know, how did you survive that, just controlled. And what Ryan needs from Sam in the bedroom is for Sam to be in control, because has that personality type, or has that trait of needing to be in charge all day, therefore being able to let loose and have someone else take charge in the bedroom is like very healing and pleasurable for Ryan. So anyway, yeah, I kind of like that. The book is like a lot of like, whoops, funny, haha, almost like, I would say circa Tumblr energy of that time, which I was on Tumblr, of that, like, when a pack of gays have like manic Ace Ventura energy, which is quite the person's reference, actually, because because that movie's, one of those movies is super transphobic and ucky. Okay, I realized something. I don't really want to do all of this on camera. I think with the part with the spices, I might not be able to, because I have to switch to another app. So at that time, yeah, I don't know if I could just pause the video and then continue recording from there, but I don't want to have to render this. So, all right, let's just kind of figure out an order we can do things in. Just gonna get this citrus squeezer here. I took this off because this onion juice smell is so powerful, and I don't want to accidentally get it on the other cooking utensils. I kind of feel like I need to like roll this and like squish it up somehow, like the fibers in it, but maybe, who knows? I feel like that might help it. All right. I think this is gonna, I don't know if every autistic person out there would like to hear this, but you're supposed to do 1 tablespoon of lime juice, or that's what this recipe that I uses or suggests, and I just do 2 limes. I don't measure it, because it's annoying to me to have to squeeze this over something to then measure it. I just find that I don't care, and that if there's slightly more or slightly less, likely going to be slightly more, because I'm erring on the side of 2 whole limes. I can do this in the smaller crusher if that's actually made for limes. Let me just see if that works any better. Yeah, got something, but you always get a little something as an additional squeeze. Sometimes doing this gets a little something. You just gotta kind of turn it to the side. Yeah. Normally, I would say you want to have extra limes for serving, but I frankly, did not need it, because I didn't even need tortillas this week. I actually didn't even need cilantro. I switched over to brisket because even though, like, I looked it up, and if I'm going for, like, authenticity, I know that can be kind of a dirty word, or like racist ideas can get pushed because of that idea of authenticity. But like, I don't know. I could go get beef cheek at like a Mexican butcher, I think. And allegedly I would be saving money, which sounds nice. But I don't want to deal with any of those like big white rubber hose meat things that are in there. I don't know if that's like an artery that gets cooked or what, but I don't like to see it. It just icks me out. So I know people like to criticize, like, you don't have to live life eating, like, for chicken, you don't want to just eat disgusting pink orbs of meat. And it's like, yeah, they're kind of uniform, and that's kind of weird, but, like, there's a reason why. I mean, like, not everybody has the capacity or the interest or really has any business doing that. Like, not everybody needs to be farming for themselves and spatchcocking their own chickens and stuff, and it's okay if someone has a texture issue and it helps us, great. I have heard that it's healthier for us as humans to eat like all the different parts of a chicken, for example, because I don't know, like there's different makeups of protein and fat at different parts of the animal, and I guess that's, I don't know, important for us, whatever. Okay, so what else do I have to do? I've got to get this meat in there. I realize I don't have to cut the meat, I just have to plop it in, and I've got to get these in there, and so I'll do the adobos, the chilies and adobo first, although I could use a spoon for this, so it doesn't really matter if I do this in any particular order. I think I only want 3 this time because I want to have, I think there's usually like 6 in here. Yeah, it says about 7 servings per container, 2 pieces. So they're saying there's 14. Wait, are these smaller? Okay. 1. I'm going to call that 2, even though I think that's more just loose adobo. I think I just want to feel like I took half of the can. And then that'll be about... Sorry for anyone who can't handle these squishy textures. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to put so many labels up on the screen for people who don't want to be seeing certain things. It does smell so good though. Oh my god. I just cannot get over that smell. Okay, and then after this I'm gonna need to mince some garlic. So let me wrap this last, and then the garlic I will see about if this works. Oh my god, I had a bill that I had set up on auto pay 2 years ago, and it was like the payment's going to be $360 every time for the whole period or whatever it was. I'm like, okay, great. So I wanted to never mess up, so I set up the auto pay, and it was literally never a problem, never late. Well, it turns out I missed or misunderstood a message that I had gotten around the time that I set this up. It was separate from the system where I actually make the payment. Actually it's $398 a month. So I got myself to be like $872 delinquent, which I think is like 23 months. And I didn't know, like I was seeing the word delinquency show up on my credit report, but I was just going like, oh, I don't know what that is. I'm sure it's just a fraud or a mistake that I'm going to have to go correct. And it's like, no, I actually was delinquent, but the first time I got notified by it was 23 months in. And I would have fixed it immediately if I had known. And the system itself never says you're only paying $360 and it's $398. It doesn't work that way. I guess the way it works is you set the payment amount yourself. So I hate paying bills on old style systems. Basically, it's annoying. Like some utilities, some rent, whatever. And just this one. No, that was particularly frustrating. So I don't know how long it's going to take for my credit to get better, because I've never had delinquency on my freaking credit, I don't think. And, you know, I'm turning 36. Like, I want to be able to manage this so that when we're ready to buy a house, I can co-sign for the mortgage and actually be helpful to that effort of, you know, hopefully getting a decent rate from the bank. So it's just, yeah. Some of my little shortcomings with money that are frustrating, and sometimes I feel like I'm trying, like, my autism is undermining me. I'm trying to do a really good job, but either it's the ADHD of it. The ADHD is, just serving me with some little extra roadblocks, and my brain isn't even able to notice. Like, I guess another person might have seen that word delinquency and been like, red alert, I must order my credit report right now and do the steps to see what account says it's even delinquent and blah, blah, blah. Instead, I'm like, I get these notifications from, like, my bank and Credit Karma and stuff, and they just stress me out. I don't know what it means. Like, I feel so incompetent, and it's frustrating because I'm not generally an incompetent person. Okay, so then the next thing I need to do. So as you can kind of see, a lot of the key to me maintaining a low stress environment while cooking or a low stress mentality, or just to even keep moving along at all. My thought process is usually like order of what takes the longest to do in terms of tasks in the day. Like, how can I stack them so that during the passive parts of cooking, I'm doing laundry or something. And I have to do a cool little project once I've started this cooking, which is I have to get this repainting I did for one of my son's toys, because the face of King Boo had come off on his Mario Hot Wheels toy just from the oils on his hands and years of playing with it. So I repainted his face with acrylic paint, and I've been letting it dry for like days, and I'm going to spray it with multiple layers of Mr. Super Clear Semi-Gloss today. So I'm excited about that. All right. I don't know, people saying this doesn't have enough fat. It seems like it's going to be enough fat to me. Just going to plop that there for now. I'm going to toss everything at the very end. But for now, I'm just going to... see, now, this is the problem, because this is... I can leave these on the cutting board. That won't be a problem, because the cutting board's already contaminated with raw meat. So that's fine. So I'm going to put these here. It's in the trash. I have to toss all the ingredients together. It's just that there's this last part that I have to do where I've got to, first of all, I have to eat my English muffin, and then I've got to measure all the spices. I think I need 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Let's see. Let me see if I can just quickly look that up. Okay. Turn around any doxing papers. I don't want to turn the monitor off if it's actually about to turn on its own. Oh, Gwen, I've got to fix you up. Get you displayed properly. Yeah, I have an Alienware computer. I know it's cringe. It just happened to be the best price at the time that it came out. It was like right before one of the major chip shortages that happened. Okay. I think this is the one that I'm using. Jump to recipe. Okay, so I can kind of just... Paper's all being used. I use the back of this. Okay. So I need... 2 tablespoons apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon ground cumin, 1/2 tablespoon oregano, 2 teaspoon kosherring salt, 1 teaspoon ground black pepper, which is so annoying because how do I know how many grinds it takes to do that? I guess I should just find out. And then 1/4 teaspoon cloves, 3 bay leaves. Toss 3 bay leaves on top. Okay, so I'll get these last things done. Okay, so nothing in there for no reason. All right, some things to consider here. Oh my god, it's so tough as it cools off. I can't fit a tablespoon inside the cumin. We currently have a small bottle of cumin. So, given that, I'm going to have to keep into account how many teaspoons are in a tablespoon, which I think is 4. Maybe 3. Let me see. Alexa, how many teaspoons are in a tablespoon?
1 tablespoon is 3 teaspoons.
Okay, 1 tablespoon is 3 teaspoons. So that's actually really good to know. So, let's see. What are we doing first? Apple cider vinegar. No, apple cider vinegar has to be last because it's a wet ingredient. 1 tablespoon ground cumin. I've been using this roasted cumin or cumin. I'm not sure how we're supposed to say it. Because for some ingredients where you have to roast and grind, it's just like a little shortcut. It smells good. It actually doesn't smell that roasted though. Okay, let's see. So I have a spoon that just says 1/2 tablespoon, but it doesn't fit. Okay, fine. What's the next smallest one we got? We got, after 1/2 of a tablespoon, the next largest one is 1 teaspoon. So 1 tablespoon ground cumin means we need 3 teaspoons. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's one of the dry ingredients taken care of. I know this is a stupid and expensive way to buy cumin, by the way. I'll get a big one later. Let me see, what do I need to do? Let me just change the writing on this. I don't have an actual pen near me. Wait, I do, I lied. I thought I only had a Sharpie, but I have a pen. Oh, I just touched that. Okay, great. So, 3 teaspoons. I'm adding that. Let me wash my hand because I just touched the gloves that I used to handle raw meat. Sorry about these dirty dishes. I know I gotta handle this. I really gotta figure out my audio that I want to do. Okay, so now I need 1/2 tablespoon of oregano. Let's see if this one is wide enough to accept the 1/2 tablespoon. measurement because it just seems like so cool if it would, but half tablespoon. Oh, it does, yeah. Nice. We really don't have to be so exact. It's fine. Just gotta keep telling myself that until I believe it. 2 teaspoons of koshering salt. Okay, so 2 teaspoons is... I'm gonna waste some. Look away if that would get to you. We can be a little overboard. It's fine. It's just for me. This food isn't for... no one else in the family likes it, except maybe my sister would if she happened to be here, but that's not like an everyday occurrence. Okay. A quarter teaspoon of ground cloves. So what I would do if I keep this recipe in my rotation is I would write it, like right now I'm just making these minor adjustments, but like I would change the order. So like the order I would do would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I would do apple cider vinegar last because it's wet and it uses it uses the tablespoon measurement, which I would hypothetically also be using for the ground cumin, although I guess it doesn't make a difference. I could do the apple cider vinegar. Well, either way, the apple cider vinegar I'm going to pour directly in there, I think, once it's in the tablespoon because it's wet and I don't want to make another cup dirty. Or I'll use this cup after I've dumped the spices on. That's what I'll do. Okay, so see, like I would reorder it in the order that it actually happens so that it's more and more natural to me. So now what we're doing is a quarter teaspoon of cloves, which I actually do appreciate sort of the complexity that I feel like I can really taste it, or at least smell it, and it really contributes to the experience of eating this. We are washing our hands frequently because we are not over here trying to get foodborne illnesses. I don't want to have some kind of weird germs on my hands and poison myself by putting that in my food. Okay, so the cloves are there. Now I've got to do the 1 teaspoon of ground pepper, but I don't know how, I don't always want to have to measure this because it's nerve-wracking to do that. So what I kind of want to do is see how many twists it takes to fill 1 teaspoon. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And then with this, I'm going to try to microwave that and see if it softens up in a bit. Now you can kind of see how I end up not feeding myself. This is one of my favorite basic peppercorns. It's not even the best one out there. It's just a good one. The rainbow peppercorns from Trader Joe's. Oh crap, was that like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I have to get a consistent grind pattern down too before that will really work. Okay, wait. I would say this is about right. So I'll say 10 full grinds, especially since I love the black pepper taste. 10 twists. 10 full twists of ground black pepper. 10. Okay, and now the 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. So I'm not even going to use a whisk. I have like the tiny whisk from Binging with Babish. Actually, very useful item for doing a small amount of eggs or cooking in a small container because you're just cooking for one or for a dog or something. I love my tiny whisk. So yeah, but since this is already going to go in the dishwasher, I'm going to use, not to stir it up, because that way the cloves don't clump up or, everything's like, I mean, it smells like barbacoa. It smells good. Yeah. Ground cumin was right. The oregano is definitely in there and has kind of like a intense smell. Let's see. All right, so then we're also going to want to do the 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. I think it's when the adobo is not melding in with the flavors yet because the adobo obviously isn't in this cup, it's on the chilies. So that's gonna be like that for now. And then this, I'm not gonna do over the crock pot because obviously if I were to accidentally dump too much, I don't want to ruin the taste of it with an overly acidic situation. Okay. 2 tablespoons, that was correct. Okay, great. Okay. And then we're gonna put this in here. It's gonna go in the dishwasher. I just put the clean ones away and then put the dirty ones. And then this is gonna go in there. And then this is gonna go here. And then this didn't get used, but it did get, no, it got something all over it. It has like a garlic chunk on it, whatever. It's going to need to get clean now. Creating extra work for myself. Oops. Kind of like reverberated through my hand. It like hurt. All right. So then this is finally going to get covered. Is 3 enough? I hope it is. I mean, I tried 4 last time and I felt like it was really yummy, but possibly too spicy for my family to eat. I'm gonna eat this. All right, let's figure this out. So this is dirty. I'm gonna consider it contaminated. But I will take care of this in the right order, I guess. I need to remember to wash that. Okay. See how a really quick food prep, something that's supposed to be really quick, can end up taking so long? Okay. Bay leaves your last, and I just touched the bay leaves with my meat hands, so I'm gonna have to clean that off somehow. Okay, so the stuff in here is like not even warm yet, so that's fine. Like, we still have a lot of coldness on the meat. Yeah, you'd think to an autistic person that this would have some textural issues, but I like that I can personally control, like, the onion situation. It just feels like if I get disgusted by it, I can just pick them off, and then the next time I make it, I will, be more conservative with the onions or chop them up finer or whatever it needs to be. Leave them out if I need to leave it out. I mean, I certainly left out tortilla because if I get icked by any part of like one of the ingredients, I tend to not want it for a while, and I unfortunately got icked by some tortilla. Okay, so this can finally come off. And then let me see. Oh, I hate this part when my finger touches this piece of plastic. It's like always a little bit rough. Okay, I'm gonna do this the way... No, I'm gonna try to do it the right way. There we go. There we go. I'll try to get this hooked on there. Okay. Sometimes when my husband watches me, I can see he'll kind of reflect to me, that he gets a little bit uncomfortable, like, oh my God, you're doing so much. I feel like I can't move around you or do anything around you because you're just doing so many things at once and you need to slow down. And it's like, I know, like, I understand the value of slowing down and how much that could do for me. Exhale. But it often feels like I need so many breaks. I need to go so slow that I can barely finish all the things I need to do in life. Okay, so is it 3 or 4 bay leaves? I'm doing 3. All right, let's see. So this is looking good. The only thing is I need to turn it off real quick, so it's gonna be loud. Oh, I guess not. And then I'm going to put the permanent marker away. I'm going to microwave this because I don't feel like toasting it again. I feel like it'll get a little bit too soft. So I'm just gonna microwave it for like 15 seconds. Eating some blackberries. Okay. Sorry, I don't like to run the microwave at the same time as this because it can blow our circuit really easily here. So that's why I had to turn this off for a moment. And I think leaving it on low while I was prepping was actually a good call because it doesn't get so hot that you can't touch it. Like, it's fine. It gets warm. Obviously, make your own judgments. Don't do something just because I said to do it. But usually I put it on high for an hour, and then it doesn't really work with... I'm going to do program. I'm going to do 8 hours. Okay, enter, and then I'm going to do low. Usually I do high for the first hour, and then I do low for like 5.5 hours after that. And I just want to see if it comes out better if I do the full 8 hours on low. This worked. 15 seconds was good for this. So yeah. Hi, dumpling. You can hear me talking with food in my mouth. You cannot have cinnamon raisin anything. Raisins are poisonous to dogs. They're poison to you. But you're a good girl. All right. Thank you so much for coming along with me. I hope I body doubled you with something fun. This is just really chill. It's just me at home trying to take care of myself. So once this is all cooked later, I'll let it cool to room temperature, and then I'll put individual portions in quart-size bags, and I'll freeze them, and I'll put the date that it was frozen on there. So that will allow me for once a day at least to have a decent amount of protein. I microwave it for 2 minutes, and it comes out perfect. If it's already thawed in the fridge for a while, maybe microwave it for 1.5 minutes, depending on the portion size. But I just kind of go by, like, is the portion about the size of my fist? And that's tends to be really good for supplementing my protein. So yeah, happy trails, and be good and happy and safe if you can. Have a good day.